Hi everyone, welcome back to Let's Play The Sims 4 Paranormal. So we're picking up right where we left off in the last episode, with Anne finishing the sad painting that she was working on. And as I was just checking out the house to see if some more cursed items had appeared, I saw in this creepy room where you have the single bed that a cursed doll had appeared. And to me, it was just not surprising at all, because this room is just overall very, very creepy, since there's this ladder that leads to the attic. I don't know, it's just a very creepy room, so I was not surprised to see a creepy doll just randomly appear on there. So Anne just finished the painting, then she took some breakfast, and then I had her experiment a little bit more with the seance table and try to, improve her medium skill, because I really wanted for her to be able to summon Brunhilde just to see what would happen with that. And the story that I had in mind was that maybe as she was researching a bit more what was a haunted house and how to deal with a haunted house, with specters and all, she probably read somewhere that if you managed to improve on your medium skill, basically, you could summon a skeletal maid called Brunhilde who would help you deal with this haunted house. And since Anne seems to be struggling a little to maintain this house in a good shape, and as you can see here, the lights are flickering, so this is one of the things that Anne thinks she's not doing right, like she's not helping the house very much, since the electricity doesn't seem to be going very well. She would like to summon Brunhilde to try and help the house in a way. And I was also thinking that she would try to create her own candles just in case the electricity went off. So that's why I'm right now having her buy some soy wax to then create her own candles just in case the electricity goes off. But as I was trying to get, to start working on the candles, I realized that she didn't have any bits and pieces, so I had to rummage through the trash to find some. Thankfully, she had some trash, because I feel like the trash right now in The Sims, they tend to disappear quite quickly, so you need to be quick to be able to get some bits and pieces. But so here, Anne is right now crafting some candles, and I'm going to have her craft, I think, 2 or 3. And I was also thinking using those candles as gift to give to the specters, because I really would like to see more things happen in this house, and I would like to, I don't know, I wanted to try and maybe develop some kind of relationships with the specters, even though technically you cannot really develop any kind of relationships with them. I really wanted for them to be able to give me some candies and some little goodies apparently that the specters can give you. I was also paying attention to Majora, because she tends to be quite scared and skittish in this house, which makes total sense. I mean, there's some really creepy things happening here. And Dominic actually called Anne a couple times to go with him outside, to the nightclub and just hang out with him. But this time around, I decided to say no, again, kind of, because I really wanted to see if something new could happen in the house. And we were actually quite close to 9 p.m. And I, usually at 9 p.m. it's when weird things happen in the haunted house in The Sims. So I really wanted to stay here and see what would happen. But unfortunately, except, weird little sounds and noises that you can hear sometimes in a haunted house that make Anne terrified, nothing too exciting happened. Like, no other cursed objects appear. I didn't really see many specters around, so eventually you will see that pretty soon. I'm going to turn on the heroic mode, because I was just so disappointed that nothing too exciting was happening. So yeah, I decided to turn on the heroic mode, hoping for more things to happen. Thankfully also as well, Anne has been improving her medium skill, so I'm going to also have her invoke the dead, which basically is going to summon specters to appear in the house. And this way I was really hoping that more things would happen, and she's also now able to host group seances with Guidry, especially Guidry, because he's the only person actually hanging out with her at the house. So I'm going to have that, experiment a little bit more with that. But as you can see here, Anne has been experimenting with the medium table, and she's been, she's invoked the dead, and so a couple specters appeared. Thankfully, they were friendly specters, so I'm going to have Anne attempt communicating with them and also give them a gift. So, of course, one of the candles that Anne made, hoping for the ghost to be happy and give me something. But, of course, because Anne is not necessarily the luckiest sim there is, she's not going to manage to please the little ghost. And I actually really like the animation of the gift just floating in midair to then randomly disappear in the ghost or the specter. But yeah, this little specter here wasn't really happy with Anne's presence, so yeah, that's that. But then Dominic came at the door, probably wondering why Anne decided not to come with him. He was probably worried, wondering why Anne never goes out. He wanted to make sure that she was okay, so he came around and Guidry scared him a couple times. But then I finally decided to have Anne summon Bonehilda. So what I was thinking was that Anne probably read somewhere in one of the medium skill books that she's been reading, you know, in the bookshelves that she found, you know, that there are in this house, since Great Aunt Sylvia was probably into media, you know, the medium skill and stuff. Maybe she found some information about Bonehilda, who would be someone who could help with running a haunted house. So yeah, I had Anne summon Bonehilda, but then Anne was just so exhausted, and unfortunately Guidry couldn't help her out with her energy, so I basically just had Anne go and sleep the whole night, and nothing happened. Just Bonehilda drinking a couple cups of water and creating some random water puddles in the kitchen, just because, you know, she's a skeleton. Skeleton technically cannot really drink. The only thing that really happened in this house is this weird puddle that appeared on the second floor, on which Anne actually, you know, slipped on a couple times. But that's the only really weird thing that happened during that night. So during the day, what I did was have Anne just hang out in the backyard, in the garden, and I have to say that this garden is so pretty. I really, really like the leaves on the ground, and I just wanted for Anne to spend some time outside and enjoy the beautiful scenery that she's living in, because she's on this island. She's very secluded, and I would like for her maybe to go and take a walk somewhere on this island, just to maybe see also the pet cemetery. I think could be really cool. Maybe go on the lighthouse, just to get out a little bit of the house but not too far from the house. I also had her experiment a couple more times with the seance table, just to keep on working on her medium skill, because I think if she reaches level 5, maybe she can do a bit more things. I'm really hoping so though. But yeah, eventually I'm going to have her take care of the garden, rake the leaves, and as you saw as well, she was feeling a little bit tense because she hadn't been listening to music enough. She's a music lover, so she needs to listen to music or play an instrument very often. And since there are no instruments in this house, and I actually thought later on that maybe I could have put a piano upstairs in this very big empty room, but I didn't want to go into build mode, cheat some money in, just so that I could buy a random piano. So what I did is that I just had Anne listen to some music with her earbuds, because I'm actually using a mod that allows my Sims to do more things while using the earbuds, and I will leave a link to that in the description. It's a small random little mod from Little Miss Sam, and it's a really handy one because she managed to rake the leaves while listening to some music. And then Dominic once again asked her out to go to the nightclub, and this time I actually decided to say yes, because nothing really exciting is happening at the house. The haunted house is not really that creepy, I have to say. So Anne decided to go out and hang out with Dominic, and at first it was going pretty well, but then, as you will see pretty soon, Anne is a loner, and she doesn't really like being surrounded by many people, so she's going to become quite tense, and she will decide pretty quickly to just go back home. And it was also getting close to 9 p.m., which is actually the time when Guidry appears at the house and when there are some creepy things happening. So I wanted to be there just in case something new was happening. Majora was just terrified. She was really not enjoying this time here, probably all alone at the house. Maybe something happened and she was really, really scared of what had happened. But then 9 p.m. came and nothing happened. Like no pop-up cards, nothing. And though just kept slipping on this puddle upstairs. It was just so funny. But yeah, we still had a couple cursed items that randomly appeared, and also a couple of other items that disappeared, like the cursed doll that was in this creepy room that randomly disappeared. Now, I'm also having Anne experiment with the juice fizzing machine, because I was thinking, since the candles didn't work out really well with the specters, maybe a juice fizzing could work. So I'm having Anne do some juice fizzing, and then I heard a weird little music that I had never heard before, and that's when I saw this new type of specter that is kind of purpley blue. And I don't know what those specters are, but I had Anne try to chat with that ghost or that specter and try to give them something, but they apparently weren't happy with whatever Anne decided to talk to them about, and they made the entire house lights flicker, or the entire electricity flicker. And yet again, as you can see, Dominic came to the front door, probably wondering why Anne decided to go home in such a hurry, as they were apparently having a lot of fun at the nightclub, or at least he was, but Anne was quite bored. And since Anne was once again exhausted, I asked Guidry to give her some energy, and he does that every other time. Like, if you ask him once, he's going to give you, but then the second time he's not going to give you any energy, and then you ask him again and he's going to give you energy. This is the pattern that I saw. So because nothing too exciting was happening at the house, I decided to have Anne invoke the dead again, just to have something happen, you know, just to have some specters appear, because even though I turned on the heroic mode, I didn't really see many things happening, and for some reason the specters just weren't happy with Anne anymore. And actually something really funny that I forgot to mention in the last episode, and that I really want to talk about before I forget right now, is that whenever there's a vampire coming at the house, the specters that appear at the front door are angry, mean little specters. But when it's Dominic, it's always a green, happy little specter. So I thought it was quite a funny detail. I don't know if this is on purpose, but I thought it was quite funny. And as you can see, once again, there's one of those bluish, purpley little spectre that appear. And this time around, even though one of you guys told me to not gift a part of my sim soul to the specters because that can make them age a little bit more quickly, as you can see, Anne has aged quite a bit. I decided to give that spectre a part of Anne's soul, just to see if something more would happen with the haunted house. And the ghost, or surely the spectre, dropped this cup, which gave Anne some logic skill, and then she had this moodlet that said that it felt like as if she was drinking from part of someone else's life, and she was inheriting this part of themselves, you know? And that also, the fact that she gave part of her soul, made me, you know, gave me a good opportunity to ask Guidry. So yeah, I gave a part of my soul to a spectre, so what now? And I was really expecting more things to happen, like more repercussion to gifting part of my soul. But actually, Guidry gave a soul scrap to Anne, which she basically ate, and that made her young again. So she became even younger than what she was before she gave part of her soul to a spectre. So yeah, I don't really know what to think about that. I was quite disappointed because I was really hoping for more things to happen, you know, in the haunted house. And as you can see, yet again, there is this purple little spectre that appeared. Maybe tomorrow night something more is going to happen, I don't know. But we're getting towards the end of the week, so I'm really hoping for something more to happen, especially because apparently there's supposed to be like this ghost called Temperance that's supposed to appear, I guess. Maybe this is going to happen in the next episode, but what I'm really excited about for this series is for Anne to become a paranormal investigator, but I really want for Guidry to give the license to Anne and not buy it from the reward store. I really want for Anne to earn that license, and I think this is when things are going to become a bit more interesting, or at least I hope so, because so far, other than the items and build and buy and create a sim items, I'm a little bit disappointed with this pack because I was really hoping for more things to happen. And I'm not really seeing many things happening. I mean, I keep removing the cursed items that appear around Majora's Ball, but I don't know, I feel so much empathy for that poor cat that didn't ask for anything and that just terrified all the time. And I just want for her to be able to eat in peace, you know? So yeah, I'm removing those cursed items, but yet again, it's for Majora. The other ones, I just leave them wherever they are. Especially if they appear in the garden, I mean, I don't mind them being there. But then, what I'm gonna do is just basically take care of Anne, keep an eye on Majora, who's just scratching all of the furnitures everywhere, but I'm not yelling at her because she's struggling, you know? She has a reason to be scratching the furniture. But then I'm going to have Anne summon Brunhilde again, but Anne will just be too exhausted to finish the seance and is just going to fall asleep on the chair. So unfortunately no Brunhilde to help Anne around this time. But what I'm going to do, guys, is actually end this part here. So I'm sorry that it wasn't as exciting as I hoped it would be, but I really hope that you guys enjoyed it anyway. If you have any suggestions on how to make the house a bit more creepy, have more things happen, please let me know in the comments. But yeah, thank you very much for watching this video, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye everyone.